Okay, we're going to be taking a look at balancing a tire. First thing you want to do is make sure that your tire is fully inflated. So we're going to be using this tool right here, which is an air chuck that goes onto our air hose. It has a gauge on it that we're going to be able to see what the pressure is inside the tire. So first thing we want to do is we're going to hook up the air hose. In order to do that, you have to pull back on the collar, and then you're going to basically connect the tool onto the air hose so you can see how it looks once everything's connected. And then you want to go over to your tire, and we're going to make sure that it's fully filled with air first. It's going to take our the end of our air tool and put it onto the valve stem. And while we have the air tool on the valve stem, we're going to hit the trigger, this part right here, which allows air to go into the tire. Okay, so we'll continue filling that. Okay, so I want to make sure it's filled with air first. And what you can do while you fill it with air, if you look at the little gauge here, when I'm filling it, it doesn't move, but when I let go, you can see it pops up. So we want roughly like 30 pounds of air in there. We can adjust that after we put it on the car. So as you can see, we have 30 pounds of air. Okay, so at this point, our tire has air in it. We can just double check that. Now, if you look at the tire, if you see any weights on it, like this right here is a wheel weight, we have to take that off first, because that's how somebody balanced the wheel in the past. So we're going to use a tool that's called a wheel weight hammer. This is what the tool looks like. And this end of the tool right here, I'll show you how that works. You're going to put it right on the weight like this. Okay, there's a little hole on the back. You're going to squeeze it, and if you watch what happens when I lift up on it, it pops the weight off. Okay, so now our weight is off the wheel. So we're going to look at both sides of the wheel to make sure we don't have any weights on either side. Okay, so I don't see any weights on this side. Okay, next thing we need to do, we're going to go over to the machine. This is the tire balancing machine, and we're going to turn the machine on. Behind the machine, there's a switch right back here. So I'm going to flip this switch on. Okay, it's that switch right there. Then the machine should start displaying little LEDs and other things that indicate that the machine is turned on. So it just does a display check right now. Okay, next thing we want to do, we're going to get the machine ready to mount the tire on. So we have this part right here we have to spin off. This takes this is what holds the tire in place, so we have to take that off. There's a cone on here. This is what the centering cone looks like. And we have to get the right size cone to center the tire on the machine. If you look on the side of the machine, you'll see a couple different sizes there. And there's the smallest one here. So depending on which centering cone you're going to use, we usually store them on the side of the machine if we're not using them. So the idea here is to find one of these cones that's going to fit in the middle of the tire. Okay, you can see right there that fits in the center. As opposed to this little one here, if I try to put that in there, it falls right through, so that's not going to work. This one here is a little bigger, fits right in the middle. These other ones here, these are a lot larger, so they would be for wheels that have a larger center hole. They're not used as often. This is probably the most popular one. We're going to take this centering cone and put it on the machine, right on this shaft here like that. And we're going to take the tire now, and we want to lift this up onto our the shaft here, the threaded shaft, and center it on that cone. So we're going to pick this up and put it on here. And you can see on this side, I'm going to try to lift it up so I'm right on the cone. Okay, so right here, once we're up on the cone, we can take this part here, which is the threaded part. This is going to go on there. Okay, so you're going to kind of hand thread this on there, and what the centering cone does, it's going to center our wheel in the middle of that shaft there. So let me snug this up. Okay, you can see how we do that. If you step on the pedal on the bottom here,